Hi, and welcome to DIY with Jeannie, where we do all things crafting. I am spending the majority of the time this year doing sewing projects because, one, I want my sewing to get a little bit better, to get a lot better. I also want to be making my own clothes this year. My goal is 0 brand new clothing. The only exception for that whole statement is socks. But I am going to be working on making my own underwear. I'm going to try to make my own bra. I want to make my own shirts, pants, shorts, sleepwear, the whole thing. And I'm going to take you on that journey with me. And hopefully we'll all get a little bit better as we go along. Now, I will say one of the most important things that I am learning is don't cut your patterns up. There's a few reasons. Number one, if you gain or lose weight, you want to still be able to possibly make that pattern. So if you've cut it at a certain size, you're going to have to buy that pattern again. And the way you get around that is by getting this, which is pattern piecing paper. And you just trace it. You trace your pattern on this paper. I'm going to show you how to do that using this book. And I want to show you also some of the books that I have found that I really like, that I think will be helpful. And those are some things that I'm going to share this year, things that are helping me learn to be a better sewist and maybe would help you also learn to be a better sewist. So, and I realize that sounds funny to be a better sewist. But this is very thin paper, just like pattern paper. See, you can see right through it. Now, the other reason why you would want pattern paper is because in the backs of these books are the patterns for the projects. And rather than copy it on copy paper, which I have used to make the walk the plank shorts and another pair of shorts and the underwear, I would rather use this. It is easier to manipulate. It also does not sound as crunchy on the microphone, I hope. But yeah, so the way you do that is take your pattern and lay your pattern paper on top. Normally, I would probably use a pencil. Use a colored pencil. As we work on this journey together, where we are learning to be better sewists, learning to be better crafters, I hope that you will leave me comments, what you liked, what you didn't like. If you really don't like a video, and I get it, because there are sometimes videos just aren't my thing. But if you don't like it, tell me why. What is it about it you didn't like? You're not going to hurt my feelings. I get more upset when you don't tell me why, because I don't know how to make the content better if you don't leave me some sort of direction. Now, for this one, we'll take and trace around our little bear here. And I will show you. See how easy it is to see through this? And not only do we want to trace around the outside, but we also want to mark that seam allowance so that we know exactly what our seam allowance is. We want to make a solid line on the outside, and everywhere that we're cutting, we want a solid line. So you'll notice between the legs, solid line. Arm to head, solid line. And then what I can do is, when I come back around, see here, this is a solid line. It does not cut all the way in to that mark, because if we did, we would be cutting our seam, and then it will start to unravel, and we'll have a hole, and that would be bad. Holes are bad, because that kind of defeats the purpose. So there we go. We've got our little bear. Now I want to know about how far in. Now I am not making the zigzag as much as they did, because quite frankly, I just want to know that that is my seam line. I don't need to know the main part of it's all the way around here and I have to have exactly this many zigs per thing, because that's not important. The important part is how far away from the edge is it. And in this one, it looks like it's about 1/2 centimeter or 1/8 of an inch, depending on where you are, is what you've done. So let's go ahead and finish this up. Now, when you get done, you will need to cut in a little bit here and around the curves, and that just helps with turning. When you turn your little bear, anywhere there's a curve, no matter where it is, or a corner, if you clip along the way, then it just makes that seam much better at the end. There we go. So there is our bear. You cannot see him. I'm going to take him off the white paper. So let's try to have tape. So now you can see our little bear on there. And like I said, this is very much the same thickness and wet paper weight as pattern paper. And I am not ruining the book in the process. So there is my little bear. I'm able to cut it out. I'm able to use him. And I can use him repeatedly, but I didn't cut the book up. I'm not using heavyweight paper. I'm using exactly the same paper I would. So now we can take this, make our 2 copies, or cut it out twice. I would probably use, man, I am just a mess. Same fabric, folded in half, cut both of them at the same time, go in, sew them together, and leave an opening. My opening would probably be at the top of the head because that's the biggest area. You can choose the side of the leg down here. That is a personal choice, and we'll go through how to do things like this. But I did want to show you this tracing paper, pattern paper. It's fairly inexpensive. You can get it in different widths. This one is, I believe, 17 inches. Yeah, 17 inches wide. It is 30 yards. And I paid less than $20 for it on Amazon, which cannot stress enough how happy that makes me. And this will do quite a bit. If you are using it for a pattern, you're going to want to possibly double it. Now, this pattern is one that I bought to make these long tunics and stuff. This pattern is a large size. It is in U.S. sizes from an 18 women's up to a 40 women's, much larger than I need. But we are going to be taking this, using our pattern paper, and going over how to make a pattern smaller, so that we're doing it in such a way that we're not just bringing it on the sides, we're also altering the shoulders, we're also, looking at the darts and the placements and things like that. So we will be making this one smaller as we go along. So that is what I wanted to go over today, this tracing paper and how to use it. And hopefully that is something that you didn't know. If you did know, kudos. I used to cut all of my patterns out, and now I am not going to anymore. So now I have my little bear pattern. Come on. And I will be using this on any patterns, this paper on any of the patterns. Rather than cut the pattern out, I'll be tracing it first and then cutting it out on here so that I am able to reuse the pattern at a future date if I want to make different sizes for different people. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, tell me why. What is it about it you didn't like? And hopefully I will see you again next time. Thank you for sharing some of your time with me. I greatly appreciate it. And I will see you next time for another make. Have a great week. Bye.